Jason Tu from ZTE Corporation. So actually, I have started my career 25 years ago, began a software engineer of PSTN switches. And all these days, I focusing on the telecom industry from the PSTN switches, 2G, 3G, 4G, now 5G at first, nowadays. And now I was acting as SDN NFV principal scientist of the ZTE Corporation. And today I want to share an idea about what we call slice store. So I think a slice store is kind of a concept coming from the 5G network slicing. But you know, a network slicing is a wonderful technology that help operator to provide a virtualized private network for different vertical industry. But question is how operators selling this kind of virtual private network or maybe network slicing to vertical industry. So actually slicing store is kind of a portal that operator facing to the vertical industry to help the vertical industry to customize, to buy, to monitoring private network, actually a network slicing with a web-based interface and a GUR-based customized interface. So I think it's one of the good idea, not only for the operator to get some new revenue, but also for the vertical industry to find an easy way to get a managed virtual private mobile network, especially for their own target.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction, Jason. We know that you were due to speak at the MWC this year about how do we move on from creating network technology to enterprise services. It's very unfortunate we're not in Barcelona, but can you give us a brief idea about what you are planning to share if you're in Barcelona?
Yes. So actually, we understand nowadays the telecom industry provides 5G together with low latency, ultra reliability, and also ultra bandwidth to the vertical industry. But for the vertical industry, one of the key things is that they need a dedicated private network for their special use. For example, for autonomous driving, they need a reliable reliability and low latency, but for other manufacturers, they all need these things. But for example, hospital, they need something different, bandwidth, latency, something. So, but for all this vertical industry, one of the best way is to have their own private network. The question in 4G is that the vertical industry to have their own private network is too expensive. And they need to have a professional management teams to manage all the network, and upgrade every years is difficult and exhaust. On the other hand, if one vertical industry occupied one frequency, one transparent network, or one cloud, it was low efficient. So in this case, if we introduce network slicing to those vertical industry, to using network slicing to provide a vertical private network for this vertical industry, is not only economy, but also we can just meet their requirements. Okay, so I think provide network slicing to this vertical industry is a brilliant idea, just to help them to replace their old self-management and expensive private net. So, but the question, how can encourage this vertical industry to buy, to customize just the right network from operator? I think network slicing is kind of a portal that operator set up network slicing slicing store to the vertical industry. It's not to the retail consumer, but also to the vertical industry. On the portal, there are two modes. One, for the work industry, they can just from the library to select one of the template and pay it and use it. For example, they select EMBB for the 4K videos. This have low latency for the manufacturing. This is one mode. Mode B is that we provide from a slicing store, we provide a GUI interface. So the vertical industry, which have a network knowledge, they can customize a special network slice. I mean, private network for them. For example, they can choose what's the area, how many latency they need, how many users and bandwidth they can design. Okay, I have two modes. One for the vertical industry that do not special needs, and the other for the high level of professional vertical industry. And we do provide a lot of tools, autonomous management, big data analysis that help a vertical industry to see how to use the network slicing. Okay, so that is kind of thing, this kind of a portal that help the vertical industry to use the network slicing as their own private network.
Okay, so this portal, Jason, you were describing, is it something sort of like, you know, equivalent of like almost like a store for, you know, for customers to be able to select what they want at what time with what capacity? Yeah. Okay, and that's what you meant as a slice store, is that right?
Yes, that's right. So the portal is kind of, so that is mean, it's kind of a portal which is linked to the operator existing orchestration, OSS and BSS system. So no matter the operator choosing what kind of network from a multi-vendor environment, this kind of portal can work.
Okay, I see. And for this one then, so what are the, let's say, you know, the advantage this portal would have versus, you know, the traditional way of providing connectivity?
Yeah, so, you know, this is concept coming from the App Store. So, you know, from the App Store, so you can just buy a software and try, use a very economy price. If you don't, you can just, buy a short time. So this kind of slice store is make the vertical industry very easily to choose to buy. Okay, maybe, so in China, we do have some example. So you have some big event, for example, the sports. So some for the broadcasting, so you can just buy slice for maybe just 1 day because the event for football games.
So there are lots of the flexibility for the customers.
Yeah, and you can also customize a slice covering only one city, or maybe only several sites, only one factory. So it's up to you to define the scalability of the network slice.
I see. Okay, that seems to be a very interesting ways of providing the connectivity. So Jason, for this slice store, has it been used in practice today already? I mean, commercially launched?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give us some examples?
Speaking, but you know, network slicing has to be based on a standalone mode, but the standalone mode is now at a very beginning stage. So, but I can provide you two very good examples that we cooperation with operator. The first one is we cooperate with China Mobile in Guangdong province in China. So there are two customers buy slice store from the China Mobile slice store. The first one is the Tencent. So, you know, Tencent is kind of a gaming company, so they are always trying to provide a gaming service. But one of the key features is that some of the high-level players need a low latency, that they can play more agility compared to the competitors. So in this case, the business model is that Tencent has selling a special card for the high-level players. If you buy this kind of advantage card, so Tencent will ask China Mobile to move the player to a low latency slice. So
Okay.
comparing to the other player, you are on the low latency, so you appears more agile and maybe you have more times to win. So, but you pay not directly to the China Mobile, the player need to pay more money to the Tencent. And of course, Tencent purchase a low latency slice with China Mobile. So this is kind of business model, makes sense.
Okay. Oh, I see.
And
What's the other
I can give
example?
another.
Yeah.
Yeah, another case is the Zhuhai harbor. So we have a lot of crane on the harbor to load and reload the containers, right? So in this case, the people, the worker used to be sitting on the crane, which is very dangerous, hot, and very exhaust. But nowadays, we're using a lot of high definition camera on the crane and move all the worker in sitting in the office with air conditioning.
I see. Yeah.
Okay, so this a lot of high definition video stream. We need to have a special area for this slice with guarantee of the quality and the latency to make everything makes it good.
Yeah, and I presume that would consume lots of the bandwidth. Yeah, even more than our video today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's a very interesting one. So if you think about the, let's say, the flip side of this, slice store, because I think we understand that there are lots of advantage comes with it. But if we think about the flip side, do you think that slice store and would compete with ZTE's own business, which is predominantly selling network equipment?
Actually, as I mentioned, Slicezone is kind of portal, which is completely independent the operator existing network. So actually, I do think the operator will have orchestration to set up a multi-vendor environment to make a 5G network. So the orchestration and also the BS system, which is calculating the fee of the slice, do provide a lot of link to the slice store. So in this case, slice store can working with almost all the vendors in the world. But of course, we need to have a cooperation. They need the existing orchestration need to provide links, and the slice store is is just a portal facing to the vertical industry, not to the retail consumers. So you can buy, purchase, and get some get some monitoring. So if you purchase a network, so you can get we are not only give you some KPI monitoring, but also we do have a big data engine on the slice store to give you some recommendation. Okay, maybe the slice is too crowded. You need to expand the slice. Maybe the slice is too light. You have to scale in, something like this.
Okay. Oh, that's an interesting one. So thank you for sharing your perspective on the slice store or the network slicing. Another topic we want to explore a little bit today is about the private network. So this is something you mentioned earlier, because as we all know, the enterprise private networks, so they are getting a lot more attention these days. And in particular, we think, lots of the corporate building owners often have their own infrastructure, so like cables and routers, etc., for their private Wi-Fi networks. So what's your view for the enterprise private networks? Do you think that enterprise have to use the operator's network, or is it possible that they just have their own private networks, or could be, let's say, a hybrid model, which is some of them is private network, some of them is operator's network?
Yeah, so I think from the efficiency of the resource, because even the super large enterprise or government can occupy the one frequency and provide the network, but I do think it's not efficient enough. So if the frequency, if we sell to the operator and the operator using the network slicing technology to share the frequency resource, transport parent resource, and also the cloud core network resource to a lot of enterprise. So I think this makes the resource more efficient compared to the dedicated physical private network. So I think this is number one. And another thing is that I do think 5G can provide more economy and a more flexible connection compared to the cable. I'm not saying the wireless can 100% replace the cable and some specs, but in most of the scenario, the wireless connection is more flexible and more economy. So I'll give you a chance. Have you heard about that Tesla Mega Factory has set up a Mega Factory number 3 in Shanghai within 1 year? So 1 year ago is just a farmer, but after 1 year, we have a lot of Tesla Model 3 output factory. So think about this auto manufacturing factory. They need to set up internal reliability industry control network as soon as possible and flexible, because a lot of robots and need to move inside the factory. Even if you have a cable inside, not only expensive. If you want to swap to Model Y, you have to rearrange all the robots. It's exhaust and a waste of a lot of time. But think about if you introduce ultra reliable 5G network slice, so you don't need to worry about all the, because it's wireless, so you can move the robots freely as you like. Second, it's management by the operator, so you don't need a professional management team to maintain, to update the cable network. It will be also exhausted for those factories like Tesla. So in this case, if the operator can provide a professional managed virtual private network service to those vertical industry, that help a vertical industry focusing on their own aspects. For example, Tesla for cars, and internal network could be just a management by one leading operator, and the operator will help them to solve the problem, upgrade the system, maybe next time to 6G if they want. I think it's a very good choice for do not own a network, just to rent the most last network. I think it's also good story for them. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, good. I think that's a very interesting topic, and it's a shame we're not in Barcelona this week. But let's say, if you are in Barcelona this week, or if you come to Barcelona next year, what kind of the things or topics you would like to see? Of course, network slicing is a big topic, 5G is a big topic, but what are the things you would like to see next year?
Yeah, I think one of the things that is also very interesting is about MEC. So we do think that the public cloud can provide a centralized computing and storage capability very good for years, and is widely accepted by the industry. But think about MEC. Nowadays we do need some edge computing, because edge computing have a lot of advantage.
To reduce the latency.
It's safety. We do not transparent all the information far away to the data center. Maybe in the Alaska, Iceland, I don't like this. Maybe regulation don't need this. But if we provide some edge computing capability, why? Let me think about this. So another interesting thing is that because we are on the way to deploy 5G, we do need upgrade a lot of our equipment. I mean, on the central office, even on the RAN side, to support virtualize, cloud-based. So that is mean, even we do not touch edge computing, so we have to do some virtualized cloud infrastructure for 5G. So why not do something more? So that is for the edge infrastructure. This is not only for 5G, but also we can sell this edge computing, storage infrastructure to those vertical industry to help them to focus on their own, business.
Okay, thanks. Thank you very much for sharing your perspective today, Jason. That has been very, very helpful. And hopefully we will see you in Barcelona in 2021.